Hey, how's it going, guys? I want to make another video, and this is about main character syndrome. And I know I've made a video on main character syndrome about this before, but it got re-inspired because I did make a video on a breakup that I recently had. And although I came out on the other end okay and with really much a sense of peace, understanding that no, I didn't deserve to be treated like that in the relationship, and I got out of it. I refuse to believe that every person I date from here on out is going to be that selfish or that nearsighted. And you know what? I was a very selfless partner in that situation. So I still have capacity in me to do good and be a good partner for the person who deserves it and who wants to be a good partner to me. But I'm never going to bunch everybody into the same group or try to make it seem like everybody else who is part of certain groups is evil or out to get me. I just don't think that's a very healthy way to have a mindset on reality, especially in modern day America where everyone's divided into these little groups, and a lot of mistaken souls think that because someone looks like you, talks like you, has the same political ideology, that they're automatically your friend and they already hold the same values. I can tell you that from all political ideologies and everything, I've seen pettiness, cutthroatness, all sorts of stuff from people who are supposed to quote unquote be with me or quote unquote be on my side, to the point where I don't let my political or social views define me anymore because I've realized that it doesn't define me as an individual. And that could be hard. Maybe sometimes it's a little bit of a pipe dream. Who knows? But things in the world are getting more intense, so it's very arrogant for me to say that I would never be forced to make a hard decision or anything like that. I'm not saying that that's the case. I know that I'm very susceptible to going down a darker path if I'm pushed far enough. But obviously, when it comes to failed relationships or walking away from toxic situations, it's not my first rodeo. I've had that all throughout when it comes to friends, girlfriends, best friends, etc. Just letdowns, stabbed in the back. I know the feeling, but I don't want to let that make me some sort of main villain, because it's a whole nother set of main character syndrome. And it really got inspired because a buddy of mine who has a bit of a different living situation, right? Different social group, although we still take time to talk. He was dating a girl who falls under the Instagram model thing. So someone you would expect the kind of party behavior. And obviously she was stringing him along, playing with his emotions. And I don't know if this was his first time doing it or not, but this person really did not appreciate what he was doing for them either. And I honestly told him, you can't expect her to be anything more than who she really is. And you can't try to force her to be something like this box that you expect, because I think it's very arrogant to think that you know what's best for other people regardless. Granted, I'm going to be honest and say that he did seem like a very caring partner. But the thing about that is, you could be as nice as someone if you want. If they don't appreciate it, or you don't think like you're getting your value when you're being a selfless partner, it's time to exit that situation, accept it for what it is, and move on to someone who is, because it's almost like he's spending energy wishing she was someone she wasn't. And maybe one day she's going to wake up to the error of her ways and realize she made a mistake. But he can't control that. And I also saw him say some very dark stuff where it almost seemed like he was bunching everybody into the same category. And that could be very toxic because he's making himself out to be like this idol sometimes. Like, it almost sounded like he was saying, how could you turn me down, like he was perfect? Everyone's got their flaws. That's like the bottom line thing. Everyone's got their flaws, and I know that there's a huge dating epidemic, and I'm supposed to be on the boys' side, and you know what? There's a lot of thing about boys that I can relate to, and then there's a lot of things that I've seen my guy friends treat their partners bad, so it's like I think that it goes both ways, to be honest. I'm not trying to be a blue pill or a beta like everybody says. In fact, I consider myself falling into more of the red pill space. Maybe not to an extreme, but I acknowledge that there's certain realities of dating that people are waking up to. But a lot of the people who take that quote unquote red pill automatically think that they are the one, that they're Neo, that they're the ones who are meant to vanquish Agent Smith because someone like Andrew Tate told them that they're the special ones or something like that. Now, I know that's not probably what he says. I'm using a bit of hyperbole there. But I think that could be very detrimental, where you see past the one layer of the Matrix, but you fail to see past the second layer of it, or you make yourself out to be the main character of the movie franchise, when really you're just one of the people who saw what the Matrix was and are now living in the real world. And that's sad, because if everybody in the real world in the Matrix movies thought they were the one, they wouldn't be able to fight the machine war. They would all be with their own egos inflated with their main character syndrome, and it would be way easier for the Machine City to overtake Zion. That's the way that I view what's going on right now. But us who see this shallow society, what we tend to do is we tend to see the shallow society that's going on and seeing that it's, not long for this world. We have a little bit more of a heroic responsibility. We are supposed to be the good guys, and good guys aren't narcissistic or have main character syndrome, because we do kind of got to build that counterculture and persuade people to come on over to our side by showing how camaraderie we are, how brotherly we are, how we stand for things that are cool. Because when you see a lot of creatives waking up, we could do a lot of things, but when our main character syndrome overtakes us, it makes us just as bad as the shallow Instagram culture that takes over. And that's an absolute tragedy. It's when an Anakin Skywalker falls to be a Darth Vader. Only there's a ton of Darth Vaders walking around. And just like my buddy, I don't want to see him get so hung up on this one girl that when a good girl comes along, he scares her away because he's so jaded from the last one. And if he's watching this, I know I'm not naming him by name, but if he's watching this, I hope he sees this, because I want him to know that I care about him, and I hope he hangs his head up high, because he's worth more than saying dark things while he's hurt. We've all been there. We've all had our heartache. I didn't handle my first heartache when I was 16 very well, but I've matured enough to the point where I have a bit of perspective on these disappointments in life, and I could count my blessings. It's not totally the end of everything. We still have a lot to work with. But bottom line on this, main character syndrome can be very sneaky. It could sneak up on its next victim. It's always waiting for the person who thinks that they're above it to capture them and ensnare them, because with waking up from social trends does come with a lot of ego. Sometimes I feel it, sometimes a lot of people feel it, where I'm like, okay, I could walk away from this trend, or I could choose to take part in it, but I don't let it take my personality. And sometimes seeing past that veneer, I get a little ego filled because I feel smart, right? But then I understand that I'm only fooling myself, because there's a whole bunch of other things in this world that could fool me that I might not have woken up to yet. And that's what I'm saying is, this main character syndrome, this ego of people who are quote unquote red pill, it could be very counterproductive to the culture that's trying to wake up. But I just wanted to make this video to raise awareness that I don't think that, red pillars are quote unquote bad, or that I'm against or I'm for this shallow Instagram culture. But I just want to bring a little bit of self-awareness that main character syndrome is sneaky, and if you're not careful, you could become just another Smith. Thanks for watching this video. I wish you guys the best. Be sure to look yourself in the mirror every now and again, and always think of a way you could improve, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.